I was out in the battlefield looking for a place to look at, and somehow from the back I was attacked by this bird. I had to kill it. It was big and white. If I would be a hunter, I would love to tame it. I didn't know there was such beauty in a dead thing. I found some pants on it, which was odd, but I was not about to say no to a pants. I made sure it wouldn't get back up, so I squatted some ass on him, just to make him embarrassed that he died to me. The mighty hero. Now I would really like you to welcome back, even though I was not gone. I was merely just going here and taking a look, to be honest. But I will take now a little break. I need a smoke. But this was just unexpected rare. And I had to have it on camera. Alright. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I release a new video. I will see you in a moment, and we are going to fight back against the vile evil of the Dustwallow marsh. When I came back to myself, I was looking for a place to slaughter some enemies. I saw some human spies, which I wasn't happy about. So I decided to jump down the mountain and go slaughter them all. I hope you are awake for this to see. That's a pleasure to make. I tried to get away, but I couldn't let that go. I knew there is a camp nearby, filled with garbage. And traitors as well. I stunned the traitor, and make sure they get what they deserve. My wrath into their face. I executed them one by one, knowing fully that I can do that. I saw a spider in the distance. I was sure that it's disgusting! But anyway, I slaughtered those fools and kept on going. I knew there would be no peace as long as there are traitors among our own kind. They didn't want to die, but they had to. My conscience was sure of that. I was certain that I would be soon stronger again, that I would be able to take on more enemies, and more and more. So I slaughtered some more. I made sure their heads were rolling on the ground. I decided to make a trip up the mountains and saw again a big ass spider. Disgusting! I had to slaughter it. It couldn't let be left alone. It poisoned me again. I was slower again. I didn't like the idea. But I arrived at a place called Dustwallow Bay. I was looking for some more ore. It was hard to find anything here, except for the spiders. You could see them miles away. And those flying snake things. I thought they might be worth some coin, but they are not. They only gave me some crappy ass tooth. So I slaughtered them in their tongues. Ha! Pathetic. Just like any snakes. I decided I would go further into the mountainous area of Dustwallow Marsh. It was nothing to be hauled. It felt like home, back when I lived in the jungle, man. I was used to seeing a lot of a lot of trees and swamps. That stupid crocodile bit me, still wanting to avenge his fallen comrades that I slaughtered with my bare fist, not understanding honorable combat. I had to teach him a lesson, so I let all my rage on him out. I slaughtered him. I saw a place nearby. It seemed like a Tauren place. I had to take a look. Perhaps some of our allies require my aid. On the way I had to slaughter some more of those disgusting flying snakes. It sent me to the ground, but I didn't let it get to me. I found out that these Tauren aren't like the Tauren I'm used to. It's the Green Totem! Tauren, traitors of the Horde, much more stronger than their brethren from the other places. I knew I couldn't let them kill me. They had magic power. I had to make sure they didn't stay for long. They were keeping me at bay, but that didn't keep me alone. I slaughtered them slowly, one by one, over and over again. I couldn't let them live. We cannot afford traitors. Destroy their totems with my powerful attack. While I slaughtered their earthbinders. Knowing their magic, I knew I could easily stop them. I found some bread. To be honest, I didn't like that bread. It tasted like crap. So I decided to take on a good old enemy, the crocolisk, and decided to go further away from this disgusting place of traitors. Treacherous Murgle children. I'm certain they are allies to the humankind. I decided to repay them their kindness with my own kindness. I would relieve them of their lives. So I did. Then I slaughtered another basilisk. Which brought me to an idea. What if that Tauren that I saw there, near the humans, wasn't a Tauren of our kind? I looked at the body, at the dead body of the Grim Totem, and I realized it was the Grim Totem Tauren who died there. It made me happy. I knew the humans were not allies with those filthy, disgusting pieces of meat. I jumped and looked for more ore. I was certain to find some if I work hard. I was as well thinking about going to the Thousand Needles. I had an access from here, quite not far away from here. I saw a pretty big basilisk from here, but I left it alive. I found a house. I didn't know what to do here, but I slowly approached. Perhaps they are not our enemies. Perhaps they could be allies. I saw a human. He didn't notice me yet. And more humans as we spoke. It seems these were not enemies. They did not attack me on the side, so I let them live. I couldn't kill something that doesn't attack me first, or wouldn't attack back. I took a look at their shop, hoping to find something good, but they were useless. Some human was talking to himself, wondering about meaning of life, and seeking something stupid, as humans always do. He called Major stupid, because they always use the last reagent for something, and never replacing it. I had to go. If I would to reach the Thousand Needles, I would have to run. not walk slowly or take my time. It might not have been super far away, but still, the march there was not easy. I saw more and more of those hideous snake dragons and some of those hatchlings that I saw before. I remembered that I wanted to sell some scales on the market. So, what did I do? Well, it is obvious. I slaughtered some of those whelplings in hopes of finding any scale to sell. I executed it and found only a tiny fang, which led me to be disappointed. So I took out their scouts. They seemed weak and fragile, but they had coin. And we know that coin is good. Then I took on something weird. I didn't understand it, but it used magic. I suppose it was this weird creature's mage. There were more whelplings, but since they didn't give me any useful scales, I decided I would go and leave them alone. I ran. I ran so fast I didn't see myself returning to the place I swore I would never come back. I was again at the Mutsprocket. I knew I didn't have to go in there, for I was on my journey to find the 1,000 needles. It had much more cleaner water, which made me a little bit thrilled, because I really needed a bath after slaughtering so many. You smell like crap, and if you are a hero, you cannot smell like a crap. I arrived at a place they called Wyrmbach. I knew I shouldn't be staying for too long. I felt some bad omen around here, some bad mojo. And then I saw it. I saw a dragon in the distance. It seemed powerful. I didn't want to disturb it or even encounter it. I had to keep my distance here. I saw a shadow above me. Another drake. There were dragons! Perhaps one day I should return here and slaughter them. But for now, I knew I didn't have the strength what it takes, and I fell down. And I tried to reach the mithril ore, which I saw nearby. I gave it another shot. I wanted that ore very desperately. I managed to reach it just barely. And then I jumped away again, back to my previous route, knowing that there are dragons ahead. And I embraced my visit to Bonswandi. I was not sure if I meet him today or any other day, but I knew if I didn't keep going, I would die for sure. My travel was long. I saw some mechanizations of the goblin race, pointing me at some distant place. I suppose they pointed me to the 1,000 needles that I was headed to. My luck was at my side. No dragons were met that moment, and I arrived at the 1,000 needles. Legend tell that there were in the past a wonderful place to visit, but now it was filled with water. I didn't believe it, but when I looked down from the mountain, I saw it for my own eyes. The place was filled with water. I sat down. I couldn't believe what I saw. And I tried to memorize everything I saw in this place. It was time that I go to the place that was marked on the map. A place called Fizzle and Posic's Speed Barge. I knew the place would be filled with goblins, Disgusting creatures. Disgusting, I tell ya! But it was the only thing I could do for now. I hoped that if I would go along the mountains, I would find as well some mithril ore along the way. The 1,000 needles were filled with snakes and scorpions, blue as the sky. I was not disappointed by the sight, but I had to run. They were too strong for me. So I decided to take the leap into the water in hopes of surviving that. What faced me, what I was about to face, I didn't know, but I saw something down there, and I hoped it would mean life. I survived the jump. After all, it was water that I jumped into, and I started to swim. I saw in the distance the place I wanted to see, but also some hurricane. It was not always pleasure to see, but it was my only hope. I knew I had to go there if I ever want to survive. I dived a little bit to see what's under the water. I saw a giant shark dead. I was shocked by what killed it must be stronger than me. I wouldn't be able to take it all. I saw a couple more turtles and sharks. It was a very odd place. But I wouldn't let myself get scared by that. I saw a couple more small sharks. Perhaps they united and attacked that one big one. I didn't know. I was almost out of breath. I had to dive out. And soon. But it took a while before I reached the surface again and I could again breathe. Now I realized what I have seen there. There were corpses of turtles and some girls who were waiting just for them to decay. In the distance I saw ships of the blood-sail buccaneers. I was impressed they survived my slaughter in the Stranglethorn Vale. But nonetheless, I kept moving, seeing the ship that I wanted to reach, and some heroes in the water. Someone was on the ship. I didn't know who it was. But for now, I had to get there first to find out. I swam along the side of the ship, looking for signs of being able to jump on it. I didn't know where the entrance is, and it would take me a while until I discovered it. I saw some beautiful fishes under the water. You know, sometimes you just got to sit down and look at those beautiful things Mother Nature prepared for us. I hoped I could jump on these ropes that were on the ship, but sadly not. That was not the case, so I swam around again. I had to find a place that I could jump on. I saw a small boathouse, I suppose. I jumped on the barrel, jumped on the boat, and now I was ready. At least so I thought. I wasn't ready. I had to go back into the water again. Then I saw some more goblins and some gnomes. Disgusted by the existence of two hideous creatures side by side, I had to find a way on the ship already. And I think I just found it. I found the Vulpera as well, but it disappeared soon. It might have been a mirage. But I was on the boat finally knowing that I could get here. I sought the Flying Master. in hopes to get some news out of him. I found some hideous, bored-looking thing. It was not the warrior I thought, which made me happy. There were more than him, though, so I kept looking. I spoke to the flight master. He told me this place is neutral to all. I couldn't care less. I sought at the market and found out they had just as much shit as I had. Now the journey continues. Our journey to Tanaris. I knew if I want to get to the best place for marketing, I would have to get there. A place filled with beautiful material. It would be dangerous, but that didn't stop me. I swam and swam across the lake. Perhaps a small ocean, one could say. I knew that entrance must be close. I had to get there. I had to visit the place everyone calls Gadgetsan. I have heard of the black market there. It was supposed to be dangerous. Yet profit drive me crazy. So I swam and swam. I couldn't give up. No, giving up is not what warriors do. Warriors fight to the end. You should know that by now. I didn't die to an all, which felt like fighting a monster. I knew I was back then, too weak for it, be fought. So I kept swimming and swimming. I had to reach the point where I could visit the Gadget-san just by talking to the flight master. It was no longer far to shore, but still, it felt like I would swim for ages. Perhaps for millennials. I felt water down my pants, in my hair. I looked like a woman with just mega heavy hair. But I couldn't give up. No, I cannot give up. I sought material as well, and I felt some presence nearby. After all, material resonates with some nice smell, and I found it under the water. I knew if I had to mine it, I would have to be patient. But so was I. I found the shore, alongside with a couple of turtles. They seemed very powerful, because they survived the water. I arrived at Tanaris. I knew this crazy place was filled with heroes in the past, who battled themselves and their enemies here. In the distance, I saw the city of Gadget-san. I sprang on the closest rock. At least so I tried. I tried twice, two times more. I wanted to sit on that rock for a moment and observe the place from distance. I didn't manage that, so I took the leap. I sat down and watched the city in its whole glory. Memorizing the place from this above helped me memorize the path I needed to take. It was a simple path. I had to just walk forward. Ha 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 ha! Ah, yes, the journey. I had to find the flight path vendor again. I saw a couple of goblins selling horses and tigers, raptors and wolves. I was disgusted by the idea of riding a horse. Or even worse, a cat! Ha! What kind of idiot rides that? I found a highborn mage there. No, it was a nightborn mage. And a shaman of the Orc clan. I knew I was in heaven. The place reeked of money. But there were also some difficulties to be faced. I found a disgusting priest sitting on a disgusting animal. An insect. It made me sick. I knew I had to fly away for now, and that we would see each other again once I left the place. But for now, I must take a breather. Perhaps we will seek out for some ore in a moment, but for now, I want to observe the city and see what the merchants in this place have to sell. After all, it is known for its beauty. I spoke to the innkeeper here and made sure it's my home. I've been living here for a long time now. I like this place. But I will see you in a moment, Mon. You better stay awesome, because that is what you are. I will be back. I will be back soon.